When did it become okay for all these to be ICE agents? Why am I seeing so many black ICE agents all of a sudden? I don't know why y'all are signing up to be over here, some slave catchers, essentially. You need your ass whooped and you need your ass bleached so you can run around with the you want to be like these woods. There's nothing right in your mind if you think it's a good idea to run around here snatching up other people from their families, as a black person especially.
A black ICE agent. Think about that. Black people have every reason to be angry in this country. We've been brutalized, ignored, lied to. But for you to, as a black person, wake up and look in the mirror and decide, I want to work for ICE today, I think is a whole new level of betrayal. Now, let's be honest. You know the systemic and targeted oppression we've faced in this country is not a myth. It's not a theory. It's reality. Mine, yours, all of ours as black people. In my almost 40 years of living, I've been denied opportunities just because I'm black in this century. And I know you've experienced it too, because that's America. So let's drop the fake justifications. ICE isn't hunting drug lords. They're not targeting gang members. They're showing up every day where laborers gather. They're raiding farms and factories and tearing families apart. People who are just trying to survive. And these are jobs that no one else wants, especially not us. We picked cotton for 400 years for free, and we're not signing up to do it again. The people ICE target, people we all grew up around. They go to work, go home, play music on the weekend, and mind their own business. They're not hurting anybody. So no, this isn't about crime. It's about control. And you, a black ICE agent, you know that. So to voluntarily become part of the very same system that has always crushed us, that's not just sad. I think it's sick. You think you'll be the exception? You think wearing the badge, covering your face and crap protects you from the system? Ask yourself, when has aligning with oppressors ever saved us? When has betraying your own community ever led to freedom? Never. You're not protected. You're not respected. You're being used. You're a pawn, a disgrace, a sellout in uniform. And when they're done using you, you'll just be another black man to them.
Across something that disgusted me to no end. And it was seeing black ICE agents participate in the BS that's going on. Now, have your sentiments about Latinos not showing up at the polls like everyone needed them to. I get it. We as black people have a lot to be upset about in this country, but for you to get up one day and march down to the ICE office and sign up is disgusting.
You know, one of the things that I talk about a lot is the fact that in America, particularly amongst black Americans, this victim mentality has taken hold to the point to where people have become so disillusioned with reality. The Bible talks about how there's going to be a strong delusion in the last days. And unfortunately, that delusion exists from the pulpits to the living rooms in a lot of black communities. And it's so strong, especially when it comes to people who are working. You know, it's funny. I'm talking about how people are calling these black ICE agents sellouts and traitors and calling them all kind of names because they're doing their job. Would they say the same thing about black IRS agents that were coming against Christians who were speaking out against abortion, against homosexuality, against the LGBTQ? Would they call black IRS agents who were freezing people's assets, who were conservative and happened to be black, would they say the exact same thing about them? I highly doubt it. because you have to understand something. The system is only bad when Donald Trump or a Republican is in office. The system is only bad when a conservative is in charge. The system is good when the Democrat is in charge and the Democrat is coming after Whitey. That's when the system is good. But if you are a black person who is choosing to work for ICE, doing your job, you are now labeled as a sellout and a traitor. That is disturbing. It goes back to that group thing. See, you have to understand how the community thinks. It's a hive mentality. They've been doing their best. When I say they, it's the communists, Marxists, and the socialists. They've done a great job of duping the community, the black community, into thinking like a hive. And so if you do anything that is contrary to the norms of the hive, you're labeled a sellout, a traitor. You are not representing your blackness correctly. And that is a pressure that a lot of people face. And people worship at the altar of the God of blackness. And the people that push this the most are the people that are part of the Black Triumvirate, the Black pastors, the Black civic organizations, the Prince Hall Freemasons, the Black Greek letter organizations, media, academia, athletes, entertainers, and politicians. Just like the politicians, the black Democrats that decided to go off and scold this black woman who worked at an ICE facility in Baltimore. If you want to incorporate gold or silver or other precious metals into your retirement portfolio, go to thebiblicalconservative.com/gold or click on the link in the description.
I'm told that you're not allowing that to happen. Is that true?
I don't know. That doesn't sound accurate.
Can I ask you why you changed your policy? Because back in, I think, March of this year, a number of us had staff that were able to come here. They saw a lot of people detained. They saw people, on the floor. They talked about lack of medical attention, which is one of the reasons we're back to see if there's any change. So why the change? Why were people allowed to come before, and now you're saying we can't, the members of Congress can't?
Operational tempo has changed, so operational, not allowing business to.
What does operational tempo mean? What do you mean by that?
Exactly what it sounds like. Changes in operations.
More people are being brought in? Is that what you mean?
Unfortunately, at this point, we're not doing any tour deportations. I think
Did
that's
they give
the
you a
reason why you
rationale?
guys here.
As the director, did they give you a rationale as to why you should encourage people to offer a chance to see what's happening? The people here must be deeply ashamed. They don't want anyone to see it.
That's just your interpretation.
Let me give you another interpretation. I'm old enough to remember when black people were snatched off the streets in this country because they were black, not because they committed a crime or suspected of anything. And that was not that long ago. So that's a perspective that haunts many of us. It certainly haunts me. And I would hope, as a black woman coming out to tell us what you did without any real explanation, I hope later today that that sort of spirit haunts your soul and that you realize that that is more important than a job.
Boy, these Democrats just doing this for a photo op. They knew the camera's going to be there. They probably told the media to show up so they can scold this black woman. And the nerve of Kwesi Mfume, the former director of the NAACP, to say that he hopes that her doing her job haunts her soul, and to conflate the detainment of illegal immigrants to what happened to black people during the civil rights movement is appalling and offensive. But that's what these people do, because they use the media and they use propaganda to keep black people in a permanent state of victimhood. I say it over and over and over again, and hopefully people will start to recognize and realize the game that's being run is propaganda. It's delusion. They want to scare black people into thinking that this is 1965 when it's 2025. No one is stopping you from getting a job, black folks. No one is stopping you from doing that. Stop making excuses. Stop it. Does racism exist today? Of course it does. Will it hamper you from achieving what God has for you? If you allow it to, if you feed it, if you give it strength, if you give it vitality by keep speaking about it over and over and over again so it poisons your mind to be a victim, of course you'll be blocked because you set that up yourself. I say it over and over and over again. No white man, brown man, black man, green man, yellow man can stop me from achieving what God has for me. I'll say it again for those of you in the back. No brown man, white man, black man, green man, yellow man can stop me from achieving what God has for me. But let me tell you something about Baltimore. So these black Democrats want to, I got a friend of mine, pastor friend Brandon. You saw the interview we did last week. He's from Baltimore. Let me give you some stats about what's going on in Baltimore. What they should be protesting about.
NAEP stands for the National Assessment of Educational Progress, also known as the nation's report card. Every 2 years, the federal government tests 4th and 8th graders in math and reading in all 50 states and 26 large school systems, including Baltimore City. In late January, NAEP released the 2024 results, which show Baltimore, of the 26 large districts tested, remained one of the lowest performing in the country, despite being one of the highest funded. Baltimore scores near the bottom in every category tested.
You knew the scores weren't going to go up great because you didn't do a lot of great things before then.
Gerard Robinson is a professor at the University of Virginia and that state's former Secretary of Education.
If anyone tells you money doesn't matter, they're lying. Money matters, but what matters most is where you invest money.
According to the 2024 U.S. Census, Baltimore City spends more than $18,000 tax dollars per student, the 13th most among the nation's 100 largest school systems.
You're one of the most well-financed school systems per capita in the country. But well-financed doesn't mean well-resourced.
Census data show much of the money going to Baltimore schools is not making it to the classroom. City Schools has the 5th highest administrative cost per student among the nation's largest districts. Detroit and Milwaukee are 2 of the school systems that consistently performed worse than Baltimore, and they too spend a lot of money. Detroit spends more than $21,000 tax dollars per student. Milwaukee spends nearly $18,000. And like Baltimore, Detroit and Milwaukee also rank in the top 25 nationally for administrative costs per student. As we further study the NAEP scores, we can see many of the school systems that outperform Baltimore spend far fewer tax dollars per student. Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Austin, Texas are similar in size to Baltimore, with around 75,000 students. They spend significantly less per pupil, and they outperform Baltimore in every NAEP category. Miami, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Orange County, Florida are 3 of the nation's top overall performing districts. According to the census, all 3 spend much less per student than Baltimore for significantly better results.
We often don't think about high-performing, lower resource schools. They've got to be doing something.
Miami, Charlotte, and Orange County are far down the list in the bottom third when it comes to administrative cost per student, according to the census, meaning a higher percentage of the tax dollars those districts receive make it to the classroom.
This isn't a money problem. It's not a knowledge problem. Here it comes. It's a political will problem. And do we have the political will to ask questions about bureaucracy versus innovation? Do we have the political will to talk about resources versus per pupil funding? And frankly, let's also talk about race. Do the lives of the Baltimore kids truly matter?
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
I want to show you that because you saw, where is the outrage for the teachers administration and the administration in Baltimore City? What are they doing with those funds? Why aren't they down there protesting that? Because the Democratic Party loves the National Education Association. Democratic Party loves those teachers unions. So it's not going to protest that. It's going to do a grandstand in front of the Baltimore ICE facility. These dudes don't care about solving any problems, man. And you heard the majority of people who are affected by the lack of resource allocation, who are affected by the failing schools in Baltimore City? Black people. But you wouldn't hear that on your evening news, will you? You wouldn't have the media in front of the teachers union, in front of the school board speaking about that, because it doesn't generate attention. It doesn't generate clicks. These people don't care about the folks in that community. They want to keep you in a permanent state of victimhood. Scolding a black woman working for ICE is offensive. She's doing her job. I thought you're supposed to support all black women, only if they do what you want them to do, right? Saddens me. It does. It does. But again, it all starts with your mindset. We're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.